This is my review of the iPad Mini 4. Now the iPad Mini 4 is closer to the iPad Air 2 than it ever was. As you know, Apple has been neglecting the Mini line for many years now, but finally in 2015, Apple has finally cared about the Mini line and they made it closer to the Air line. The Mini 4 is rocking the Apple A8 chip, whereas the Air 2 is using the A8X chip, which is a tri-core, and the A8 is a dual-core. The A8 processor is the same one used in the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus from 2014. Although it is using the same chip as the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus from 2014, it's not just a straight translation of that phone put in the Mini 4. They actually put in 1 more gig of RAM into the iPad Mini 4. What does that mean? It means that you're going to get a faster operating system, a much more smoother operating system. You should be able to run more apps or multitask more. And with 1 more gig of RAM, what does that mean? It means that you can finally truly multitask. And what is true multitasking? It's where you can run 2 apps at the same time, which is pretty amazing. Another thing Apple did with the Mini 4 is they actually gave it the laminated display that the Air 2 has. So that means there's less gap in between the screen and the glass, and the screen is supposed to be less reflective than years past. So no, there shouldn't be as much glare as you usually see on the iPads, which is another nice feature. Now, as far as the camera goes, the Mini 4 does have an 8 megapixel camera on the back. Is it an amazing camera? No, it's still last generation camera, but it's not bad. Most people aren't really going to be taking pictures with a tablet anyway, but it's still nice in those situations where you need, or you might need, a camera and this is the only thing you got. Then it is a good thing. They did bump it up from 5 megapixels to 8 megapixels, but realistically, let's be honest, you're really not noticing the difference from 5 to 8 megapixels. But it is nice they did upgrade the resolution of the camera on the back. You do got Touch ID on here. And finally, you do have AC support. So if you have one of the newer, faster routers that do support AC, you finally do get AC support on here. In terms of Bluetooth, you do get Bluetooth 4.2 connectivity on here. So you do get faster Bluetooth connectivity on here. Now, with the iPad Mini 4 being lighter and thinner than the iPad Air 3, you would think that you would lose some battery, but I've had my tablet now for about a month, and what I can say is I'm easily getting 10 hours of battery out of my Mini 4. I really always get around 10 hours. It's not exactly 10 hours. Sometimes I get 9 hours and 57 minutes. Sometimes I get exactly 10 hours. Sometimes I get 10 hours in like 5 minutes, 10 hours in 7 minutes, something around there. But I always get roughly 10 hours of battery. Would it have been nicer if they would have made this thing a little bit thicker and put in a bigger battery? Yes, it would have been nicer. It's not always a good thing to go thinner, 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 thinner. It would be nice to get a bigger battery, but I mean, hey, what can you do? It's Apple. They love making things thin and light as possible. But the good news is you're still getting that 10 hours of battery out of this thing. And right out of the box, you are going to get iOS 9.0. So you don't have to worry about getting iOS 8, iOS 7. You are getting iOS 9 right out of the box with this tablet. This tablet starts at $399 for 16 gig, but I highly would shy away from the 16 gig because if you're a mobile gamer, or if you store a lot of pictures or movies or a lot of apps, then I would highly recommend at least going for a 64 gig. Now the 64 gig does get kind of pricey. The 64 gig is going to run you $500, and that's where at the point you would say, I'm probably going to get the iPad Air 2 for $500. Yes, you may only be getting 16 gig for $500, but you are getting a bigger screen with the iPad Air 2. So you got something to think about right there when it comes in terms of the pricing with this tablet. overall, am I happy with this tablet? Yes, I am very happy with my purchase. I'm going to go ahead and show you the true multitasking. If you're on certain apps have to support the true multitasking or split screen multitasking. I'm going to go ahead and show you it. Safari does, for a matter of fact. I'm going to go ahead and swipe over. Once you swipe over, you can see that now you're in real multitasking. And as you can see, I can't use the browser right here, and I can use the clock. What you have to do is once you swipe over, you have to drag it over once more. Then you'll get this bar in the middle, and then once you let go of the bar, then you can actually use both apps at the same time. And here's some of the apps that do support it. Once I drag down, you'll see all the apps I have installed that do support split screen. Here's all the apps that support split screen. Now, not every app in the store, of course, is going to support split screen. And if you're wondering what iPads do support split screen or real multitasking, the iPad mini 4, the iPad Air 2, and the iPad Pro all support true multitasking. Now, is split screen view on the Mini 4 as good as it could be? No, because the screen is small. It's only 7.9 inches. If you really want to use a split screen view, then I would definitely go with the iPad Air 2 or the iPad Pro. That's when split screen view really gets effective and you can really feel it working because you have a bigger screen and a bigger surface to work with when you're doing split screen. But it is nice in those situations when you need to use two apps at once. You can do it on the Mini 4, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. I'm going to go ahead and go to Twitch and show you picture-in-picture. Another thing iOS 9 brought to the tablets, it did bring picture-in-picture mode. Now, picture-in-picture mode actually works with a lot of different iPads. It does not just work with the Mini 4, the Air 2, and the Pro. It actually works with a lot of the older iPads as well. I don't know which ones it supports, but it does work with a lot of the older iPads. Now, to do picture-in-picture, again, you do have to have a supported app, and here's one of the supported apps. Twitch is a supported app when it comes to picture-in-picture. The stock video player from Apple does support picture-in-picture. I know for a fact Hulu supports picture-in-picture. I do know for a fact YouTube does not support picture-in-picture, but there are ways to get around YouTube not supporting picture-in-picture. If you still need to use picture-in-picture with YouTube, I'm just going to go to a random stream, anybody's stream really. What you got to do is, at the bottom there should be a little button, and once you click on it, it'll shrink the video. And now what I can do is, when I go back to the home screen or any screen on the tablet or any app, I can still watch my video and continue doing whatever I'm doing. And you can also throw this around if you don't like it where the spot is. And you can also hide it if you still want to hear the audio, but you don't want the video in the way. You can actually hide it like I did right there. You can drag it around to all the corners. And you can also resize the video if it's too small, like right now. You can resize it. There you go. It is resized. But then at this size, since the screen's so small, it does kind of get in your way of what else you were doing. But it's still nice. You can do picture-in-picture, and there's picture-in-picture. Now, should you buy this tablet? Yes, you should buy the iPad Mini 4. If this is your first tablet, I would highly recommend it, even over the Mini 3, the 2, the 1, just because those are getting kind of old. The processor's kind of old. This one will last you for 2, 3, 4 years down the road, since it is a much newer processor. Everything's newer. There'll be more support from Apple, things like that. I would highly recommend this, even if you have to put down a little bit more cash to get this in the long run. You're going to be more happier. It should last longer. It shouldn't be as laggy. It shouldn't get jittery. It should feel up to par. Now, if you're wondering if you should get this compared to the Air 2, if you're worried about the A8X chip compared to the A8 chip that the Mini 4 has, what I will say is 99% of the time you're not going to notice the difference. And really, where the A8X chip really will perform better is in gaming, I would say the main spot is going to be gaming with the A8X chip. If you're a big gamer on mobile platform, then I would definitely go with the Air 2 just because you have a faster processor and games will run faster with the A8X chip. And multitasking should be a little bit faster, but overall this is no slouch of a tablet. If you're looking for a small tablet to carry around with you, to bring with you to do stuff, and you want a screen a little bit bigger than your phone, then I would highly recommend buying this. Now, in my time with this tablet, I've had my Mini 4 for about a month and a week. And what I can say is I bring this around with me everywhere. The size is so small, I don't feel like I'm tied down to like a laptop. I'm tied down to even the Air 2. I feel the Air 2 for me is just a little bit bigger. I have to worry about it when I'm bringing it with me. I can feel it. This one is just so small. I can put it in a bag. I can do stuff with it. I'm not tied down. And the best part is I have a bigger screen than my smartphone, which is a very nice thing. And anyway, those are just some of my thoughts on the iPad Mini 4. Peace out. I'll see you guys later in my next video. I'm out.